we're going to be talking about the 5 signs that you've hit your business growth ceiling and how to break through. Number 1, you're frustrated because no matter what you do, the business won't move. This is, I don't know what's not working, so I don't know where to attack this. The solution to this is metrics. How do you know what's going on in your business if you're not measuring key indicators? It might be, how many clients are we serving in a week or a month? Understanding how long typically it takes for people to go through your business cycle, that's a really good place to start. We're going to go with looking at how we can get a few metrics in place. The first thing is you need somewhere to record these. Doesn't matter where or how you do it, as long as you get metrics and that they are the right metrics. The right metrics will give you the answers in your business. Say, for example, your bottleneck is we don't have enough clients. Your metrics need to be around measuring how many clients you're getting and what's known as a lead and a lag metric. A lead metric is something that you're measuring before the thing happens. Let's say the thing is someone buying your product. Your lead metric is maybe how many inquiries am I getting on the website? Or it might be how many people are putting this in their basket if you're selling online. Or if you're doing Facebook advertising, how many clicks are you getting through to your website from that advertising? All of these are ahead of the product being sold. So those are your lead metrics. Once you know where you are now, then you can measure how that changes depending on what you do. You need a lag metric. This is true for lots of different bottlenecks in your business. Let's say this is the sales one. The lag metric might be how many people are coming back to either buy that thing again, buy accessories for that thing, or if you've got an online course, how many people are coming back to buy other things that you offer. Initially, you want to get a baseline. You're measuring how many people are coming into your sales pipeline, how many are buying, and how many things is going to be important here. You might also start looking at some of your website analytics, how many people are actually going through a certain path. So once you've got an idea of how that is coming in and how any changes you're doing here are affecting the numbers coming in, you can then go, oh, that thing worked. Let's double down on that. Maybe you had 10 inquiries a week and you're finding that's not enough. Then you changed your Facebook ad and all of a sudden you got 15 inquiries. If you're happy with that, you could increase your Facebook spend. If you think, now that I know the direction that I can change in, I'll change more of that, and you might start doing some other stuff. When you're watching your metrics, you can understand what's working and also what's not working. If you look at these metrics and you go, okay, we were getting 10 inquiries a week, I changed the thing, now we're only getting 5, change it back straight away. As tempting as it is to fix 3 things at one time, do not do it because you don't know what's working and what's not working. Once you've got your lead metrics and you're like, yep, cool, okay, I know what we need to do to increase our inquiries, and that increased inquiry will lead to increased sales. That's cool. Are there any negative lag metrics? What can we do about them? Let's get them down so that our customer satisfaction goes up, our online review quality goes up as well, and people start seeing that word of mouth going around. The key thing is knowledge here is power. When you have got information, you can do stuff with that information. If you're frustrated because no matter what you do, your business won't move, get the metrics to understand what happens. Number 2, you can't take on more clients because you haven't got the time, but your profit isn't where you want it to be, and for it to be where you want it to be, you need more clients. So this is one where you can use a thing called a crush and cringe analysis. Who are the clients that give us better profit and simpler sales processes than other clients. Crash cringe analysis is finding out what characteristics your favorite clients have in common and what characteristics your least favorite clients have in common. And then you can work on, well, how can we either get rid of our least favorite clients or make them so profitable that they become our favorite clients, or increase the number of favorite clients so that eventually the least favorite clients will drop off and find other suppliers. First of all, get a list of your existing clients. So now, if you've got 20 or 50, this is going to be super easy to do this for every single client. I had a client list of about 200. I pulled their information out of our CRM. I ordered them in spend per month, pulled the top 20 and the bottom 20, went, right, what do these all have in common? Then if you're doing this in your client base, the first thing you want to do is you want to go, okay, let's look at my favorite clients. What makes them my favorite clients? Now, if you're not sure which side a particular person will fall on, think about if you saw that person was calling you. Does your heart go, hey, great, I really want to take this call? Or does your heart just go, oh no, they're going to have more problems? That'll tell you, are they a crush client or a cringe client? That'll tell you your gut feel. Then you need to actually figure out what's doing that. In a lot of cases, it'll be the cringe clients that are really hard work that seem to always have problems and they're just always difficult to deal with. So then what you want to do is figure out how can we get more. Once you've figured out what are the common demographics, you want to go through and figure out what your top clients have in common. Are they the same demographic? Do they do the same thing for jobs? What you want to do is figure out 2 or 3 different things that they all have in common. Then you can start working on how to attract more of those people. What you're doing here is you're narrowing down the type of clients that you would like to have more of. You're figuring out how you can market to those people specifically. Where can you market to get more of those clients? So you're being more efficient with your marketing and look at your cringe clients. What do they have in common? What marketing did you do that brought them on board? Do less of it. You might be looking at them going, I really like them, but they spend $20 a month and it costs us $50 a month to provide that thing that we're doing for them. In which case, you've got to let them know, hey, we actually can't afford to carry on with this offering. If someone's been nasty to you, just remember this is your business and you're allowed to fire them. You do not have to keep looking after someone that makes you miserable. Okay, sign 3. You need more team to do the work, but you haven't got the cash flow to pay more of the team. At the moment, you haven't got enough income to expand your team. So look for areas that you can stop doing, not necessarily that, but just to stop so that it frees up your team to do more work that's billable or earns an income for your business. Once you've got that higher profit margin, you can then hire someone to start doing that other stuff again. Just check that you do need to start doing it. Is it something that is required of your business? Is it something that does contribute to the bottom line? Or was it something that you did because you've always done it? Maybe now you've realized you don't need to do it. If you look at it and there's no benefit, don't start doing that thing again. The other thing you can look at is how can we automate? So there's lots and lots of different ways you can automate things. If anything is looking like data entry, I can almost guarantee you can automate that. We've got Text Expander. We save on average 3 hours a month because we don't need to type out the same sort of emails time and time again. We've got them pre-written and we enter one short code and it automatically expands that email. We just fill in the blanks and send it out. Things like that save us 3 hours per team member. That's a huge saving. The team aren't doing what they should be doing. I don't know if you've ever gone through that hiring and firing circle of life where you're like, okay, I am spending way too much time doing this thing. And then you bring someone on and they start doing this thing and they're training, so they don't get it right all the time. And then they've been doing it for a while and they're still not getting it right all the time. So you, in your frustration, go, oh, just let me do it. I just can't be bothered explaining it again. You bring them on to do the thing. They start doing the thing. They're not doing the thing in the way you want the thing done. You take the thing back on yourself and you fire them. That's the hiring and firing cycle. If this is a pattern, no matter who you hire, it's one thing in common, and it could be the one looking back in the mirror at you. It's not to say you're a bad person. It's that you don't know how to delegate properly. That was something that in my first business was a constant source of frustration for me. I went through that hiring and firing cycle many times and then realized I just wasn't delegating things properly in a way that told my team how things needed to be done and what they needed to look like when they had been done. I never gave them those instructions. I just said, do that thing, and expected them to read my mind. If your team's not doing what they should be doing, there can also be another reason for this. This might be that they are actually intensely disliking that thing that you're getting them to do. This is a good time to look at what people are doing within your team. There's a thing called time tracking where you get everybody for a certain period of time to track all the stuff they're doing. We teach a specific way of doing this, but you can basically classify the work that they are doing into different types. Then you can get them to tell you, do they love doing that type of work, or would they rather transfer it to someone else that might like doing that work? Team members are good at spotting this stuff. If there's something that doesn't need to be done, the team member that's doing it should be telling you it doesn't need to be done anymore. You should be listening. They may not be right. There may be reasons you know of that they don't, why that thing needs to be done. But if they're saying, hey, this thing is no longer relevant, but we're still doing it, for goodness sake, listen to them. Does that job still need to be done? But let's say you've gone through this analysis and you've gone, hey, team member A hates doing this sort of work, and that's 50% of their day. They're procrastinating on 50% of their work, or they're just not doing it at all. But team member B loves doing this sort of work. The stuff that team member B doesn't like doing, team member A would love to do. It's a matter of getting an understanding. What does everybody love doing? Are they working in their zone of genius? If they're not, plan to transfer those things. Don't worry about a job description. If people are happy in their work, what does it matter what they're called? You could call them an elephant wrangler or chief challenge officer. It doesn't matter. What matters is, does it fit the person performing that role? Number 5, you don't want to go to work because you're frustrated. Try and get some space before you try and figure out how to deal with it. If you are so deep in the weeds of feeling like you want to get out, you can't get any sort of perspective or to start solving the problems. The whole point of this exercise is to get some distance from that feeling so your brain can start quietly in its own time, picking away at, why am I feeling like this? Why am I miserable? Actually starting to write them down. If you can't take a holiday, take a walk. Everybody can take a walk. There have been times where all I have time to do is eat, sleep, and work. I was too much in the weeds, too close to the situation to make good decisions. I was too tired. And I was too emotionally involved because I'd felt like the weight of the entire business was on my shoulders. As business owners, realistically, it is, but you need to get some perspective. What you want to do, get out and away from that situation, even if it is only for a half-hour walk. Do not let this be disturbed. Get out, as I say, preferably for a holiday so you can get some perspective. If you can only get out for a walk, do that. Start thinking about, why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like I don't want to come into work in the morning? You'll probably have a list of 100 reasons by the time you're finished. Pick the ones that you can do something about right then and there. Hopefully, some of it will be these previous 4 topics that we've talked about. Once you know, okay, what is the thing that I can do that will make the biggest difference right now? Give it some time. And then if it's working, great. Do more of that same thing or pick another one and do that. Look for things that are going to make a difference. You want to love your business. If you get to the point where you're like, I just don't love my business anymore, maybe it's time to think about an exit strategy. You started that business for a reason. Go back to your reason why. Why did you start that business in the first place? See if you can drag that out into the light and have another look at it and go, will this reason still fulfill me and give me joy when I turn up to work in the morning? I hope you can find joy in your business. I know what it's like to get to a point where you just don't want to go to work. Hopefully you can change it. If you want to chat, join us in our Facebook group. Let us support you, answer questions, and see if we can help you out. If you want to go through your business systematically and go through these bottlenecks, go through rebalancing the team, all the other things that we've talked about today, that's the sort of stuff we go through in the signature course. I'd love to hear from you.